Welcome to the stage of history. I am your illustrious host, Kevin Uncanny Anytime. Welcome back, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to this beautiful Friday message here that I got for you. As always, got a good one for you to think about, something to contemplate on your plethora of different mindset activities, right? Let's add one more onto that. This one is when you can utilize this when you're feeling a particular way, which whether it's often or not, it really doesn't matter. It's just something that I've always had in my arsenal to be able to draw the attention off of my own problems, my own issues, different things that I might be worried about or thinking about and stuff like that. Because we are all connected. When I do this, it helps me to really jump outside myself and realize, what I'm really capable of and the things that I can do and how I can, not beat myself up so much or be so sad in my own self in the day and be all distraught or get kind of depressed and stuff like that. So if you're feeling like that, this is a definite method to be able to get out of that. And really, really, really tuning in though. So I encourage before you do this to take some deep breaths, to get yourself present so that, cause, and I'm saying this, I'm prefacing this because I'm one to be like, well, whatever, it doesn't matter, or they're not me and this, that, and the other. And that's the attitude we don't want to take going into this type of activity, because then you're just totally being self-destructive, right? And I can speak to that because I'm like, well, they ain't in my shoes and they not in my position and whatever it is, whatever they got going on ain't got nothing to do with me, blah, 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 right? And we can all get into that type of a space. And when we get into that type of a space, it is very resistant, hyper resistant to any help or feedback or constructive criticism that may actually help you in your situation. So the topic today is dive into someone's story. And this is extremely, extremely impactful. And I can give you some examples of how incredibly impactful it was and is, right? There are some very well-known, powerful people that utilize this on a regular basis. And one of them, well, in the past, I'll go into the past first. One of them in the past was Oprah. Oprah loved to dive into other people's stories. That's why she was a monster in the media, is because she brought people to light. She brought people in the forefront who were struggling or who were going through really crazy things. And then she would talk through it and help them get through it and really bring situations and conversations to the light that most people didn't really talk about at that time. It was like, a huge social thing before social media. The talk show of Oprah was incredibly impactful. And if you remember that time frame, or I mean, I remember that time frame, but if you remember that time frame, or if you look up that time frame, check out some of the stories that she brought to light. Man, people were going through some really crazy things, or they had a really crazy living experience, and she would bring them on and they would talk about it, and it would be this, group setting, and people would be tripping out, and man, that blew her completely up. Now, not trying to say use that as an avenue to gain fame. What I'm saying is that that's how powerful it is. Okay. It drew people to her show because they wanted to dive into someone else's story to see, oh man, if they went through all of this, wow, let me really take an assessment of my situation. Let me really think about what I'm actually going through, because is it really that bad? Can I snap out of it? Can I not, or if you look into it and you're like, wow, I don't know how they made it through that. I wouldn't have made it through that. Then that helps you to look at your situation and be like, yo, I got this. I can do this, because this other example that I just looked at was so incredibly um you know amazing as far as how they got out of this terrible situation. And that's what you have the power to do now. But now you have it just at your fingertips. Now you can YouTube it. You don't have to wait for Oprah's show to come on. You can literally just YouTube those examples of people being triumphant in the face of adversity, right? In major adversity. People are freely giving their stories out now, and just all over social media. So you have that opportunity to do that. We have this, what I like to call, it's the matrix, right? So if you really think about it, when Neo was downloading the kung fu styles and stuff, right, in the first movie, that's technically what this is, y'all. That's technically what YouTube, Google, all of that stuff is. You literally go in there and you can look up a topic, look up a subject, and learn about it. That is the new power that we have, y'all. It's a straight documentary, right? So that's what you have the option to do. And it's easy to jump into our own heads and be super negative and just really distraught and really depressed. And it can be hard to get out of them spaces. So what I found to be a easy avenue, because we're so easily influenced, right? We're susceptible to information, is that if you just look something up real quick and just play it and just listen to it, though, that's what you want to do. That's why I was prefacing before. Take some deep breaths. Take some deep breaths first, okay? Just chill out, all right, and be like, okay, let me tune into this. Let me see what this person went through. Let me really see what's going on, what the human is capable of, right? And really dive into it and just listen. Work on your listening skills and really tune into their story, and then try and imagine and place yourself in that particular situation and be like, what would I do? Wow, that's heavy information, you know? A lot of it is really heavy information, and we feel at times, hey, I wouldn't have made it through that. But the truth is that you would have, if you would have been set up with that type of dynamic. And the reason why I'm saying that, and I know that that's true, is because of the scripture of God will not let you be tested beyond what you can bear. And so each person has their own load that they must carry. And it's not going to be one that is going to purposely completely smash you to where you absolutely cannot get up. There's always a way out. And knowing that and having that hope can give you that little spark, can give you that little fire that you need to just be like, okay, let's go. Let's get this. Let's do what we need to do. Right? As long as we are alive and breathing, we have a choice. We have a choice to just totally just be demoralized and beat ourselves up and dive into despairs and stuff like that all day long, or we can try and find ways to get out of it, right? Fight against yourself. Really, really, really fight against that evil self of you, because it shows up and it's like, nope, we want to feel bad. We want to feel terrible. So this is how we're going to do this. And that is it's a very powerful energy. Okay. And so you have to really tune into that light inside of you. And I know you got it. That's why you're listening to this. I know you have it in you. And you just got to really hone in and really harness it and be like, no, we are done. We are done being passive. We're done not responding. We're done just allowing ourselves to get pummeled by this negative energy. It is time to fight back. We are going to fight against this. We are going to rise against all negativity, even in ourselves, which is the strongest out of all the negativity. Nobody outside of you really knows you like you know you. Okay, you know you more than anything. So you can completely dismember yourself. You can totally, just totally destroy yourself if you really want to, right? And we know this. And so that's why we have to fight against it, because it's our own evil selves that we have to fight against in this battle. So use these things, use these tools, right? Try and recall it and bring it to mind. Write it down. Hey, if you're feeling this way, dive into somebody else's story. This can greatly, greatly help you in your journey, to really, really see things in a different perspective and give you a newfound energy, newfound spark, right? And there's another guy out there. I'm sure you've seen him. He's a motivational speaker. I believe he's probably like a Christian motivational speaker or something like that. I can't recall his name right offhand, but he has no arms and no legs, y'all. Really, really, really think about that. Come on, man. Come on, really think about that, okay? He is an anomaly in this matrix. He's totally the one, right? He's totally the one. And he's using whatever he's got to be able to propel himself, to fuel himself, to move through this life, even though it may seem super unfair, even though it's like, oh, I was dealt the worst hand. Well, come on, y'all. Come on. How worse of a hand can you be dealt? Right? And he just was like, nope, nope, not gonna do it. Now, he is a very, very, very small percentage of people that decide to go into that type of realm with with that type of hand, with that type of card setup. No arms, no legs. No, people are normally, oh man, life is terrible, right? Life is just all messed up because it's like, why did God do this to me? Blah, blah, blah. But this man turned it all the way around. And if you just imagine how you would have felt if it was you, really dive into that. And then after you dive into that, right? After you dive into these stories and you dive into these people, then what you would want to do right after that is go so deep into gratitude of where you are right now, what you have right now. Thank God you don't have to deal with that. Not saying that it's, not trying to, whatever, feel any type of way towards them or nothing like that. But man, really, truly, it's like, thank God I didn't have to go through that, man. Wow. All right, let me take a look here. I'm so grateful I get to go play basketball. I'm so grateful I get to lift weights and do the stuff that I like doing, right? Incredibly grateful for that. And that's a huge, big beacon of light representation of why we should be grateful every single day, y'all. Because there are random anomalies that happen like that. Like, who knows what happened? I don't know if it was from an accident or what, but imagine if it wasn't. Imagine if he just was born like that. And it's like, whoa, this is just how I ended up being. I didn't grow the limbs I was supposed to grow. What is that? So then he just uses his voice. So then he uses his voice, and he uses his situation. He uses his situation to empower people, right? That is absolutely fascinating, man. And I shout out to that man. Shout out to that man. He is one of the strongest people on this planet. Please understand that, because his brain, his mental capacity to be able to do that, he is on a different thinking plane. Y'all, he is way beyond subatomic with that type of thinking. And now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't act like this dude's perfect. Let's not act like he's perfect. I'm sure he has bouts of depression. I'm sure he has bouts of like, oh man, this is bullcrap and this, that, and the other. Because we all do. We all do, y'all. And we don't have those problems. We don't even have those problems, and we still do that. You see what I'm saying? That's just a human mechanism that happens. We just complain about stuff. That's what we end up doing. But it's important to really, really, really think about what this man is going through on a day-to-day basis. All right? Really, really think about that. Really think about it, man. And I'm serious. Don't just surface level. Oh, okay, yeah, well, yeah, oh man, that's what tripped out. No, dive into his story. That is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about literally jumping into another individual. I've practiced this before. I know that this is possible. You can literally place yourself into another individual and try to live how they're living and imagining it. You can do this. You can literally do this. It's one of your superpowers. The imagination is incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful, right? And we know this by, come on, by the dreams and stuff like that, y'all. Come on. You can have a dream, you wake up, you thought it was real, right? You thought you got shot, you thought you got stabbed, you thought you fell off a cliff, you thought you won the lottery, you thought all of these things and it felt real, right? What is that? It's your imagination, all right? Your superpowered faculty that you have that you can exercise by diving into different things. And so I encourage you to use that. Truly use it to your advantage. Don't just let it run wild and do crazy stuff to you. And, you know, because the horror and bad dreams and nightmares and things like that. No, use it. Use it for good. Use it for great things, right? That's what you can do. Okay. So really, really, really think about this, y'all. Think about this topic. Dive in to someone's story. Okay. It is totally one of the greatest things you can do in your journey to be able to get you on track, to get you back to life, right? Get you back on positivity and the greater things, right? Because there's so many different ones out there. So many different ones out there. You can be looking into people's stories for days, right? Success stories, failure stories, sad stories, happy stories, all of that stuff. All of that stuff, right? So use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. I really encourage you to do that. And so, yeah, I'm only giving you this information to try and benefit you, y'all, because mindset matters. Mindset matters more than anything else, y'all. You know it. You know it. It's all in the mindset. Your mindset is going to get you where you're trying to go. Okay. I love you guys very, very much. Please take these words to heart. Share it with somebody if you need to. All right. Let's draw some attention to the channel. Let's get some people on here. Hey, if you want to be interviewed, if you have a story, let me know. Cause I want to put you out there. All right. I want to have people understand that they can do things. They can make it. They can be something, right? They can become their greatest self. All right. So again, I really appreciate y'all. If you are just first time on here, subscribe to the channel. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 a.m. Arizona time. So look out for that, where I come up with some topics and you can actually see me live. and we can go through questions and, go back and forth. And I like interacting with y'all because that helps, But yeah, really appreciate you. Have a fantastic, phenomenal rest of your Friday. Love you guys again. Focus on the good. Mindset matters more than anything else. Anytime,